Hi, everyone. Welcome to week number 277 of the virtual Cobalt Cafe reading series. Glad to have you here with with us. My name is Rick Lupert. I'm the MC of this here shindig. Tonight, in addition to our open reading, our featured reader is our very own Bill Gaines. Bill, I don't know if you realize that we've claimed ownership of you at this point, but that's just how it is. So glad to have you here in the featured reading spot tonight. We're going to do a little bit of our open reading first, as we always do, and then we will have Bill read, and then we will have the rest of the open reading, and then the event will end, and then you will be free to do whatever it is that you would like to do for the rest of the evening. That sort of implies, I guess, that you don't have freedom now to just do whatever you want. Um, and that's actually true, you do not. So glad we cleared that up for all of us, and I'm glad that you're all here. So if you would like to participate in the reading and you haven't already done so, please send me a message in the chat. I see a few messages coming in now. I will respond when I'm done here giving all these introductory things, remarks, so I don't say things like things instead of remarks and can just focus on saying the things that I'm supposed to. So if you'd like to read, send me a message in the chat. I'll be happy to add you to the list. As always, 2 poems maximum. Less is more is the suggested time limit. We do have a 1 drink minimum here at the Cobalt. Please make sure that you are observing that in whatever way you are comfortable doing so. And finally, make sure that you have the chat room open so that way you can interact with each other as you so choose. So that way we can keep the room safe from people saying things out loud, uh, etc. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Before we get to our first reader, who will be Jeffrey Bryant, I would like to know if there are any questions. Martin Parker, yes.
Good evening, Rick. I was wondering this evening, what is your opinion of cranberries?
Cranberries. I think they're fine. I think I like them in particular in sauce form around Thanksgiving. And that's my main interaction with cranberries and their whole community. So I don't know that I've ever had a cranberry outside of the month of November. Do you recommend it?
We'll be finding my opinion on them later this evening, I think.
Understood. Okay, well, we don't want to give it all away,
I
so
reserve judgment right now.
we'll also preserve
Reserve, there you go.
judgment. Thank you. All right, thank you, Martin. Any other questions? Just looking for hands. Christopher George, didn't you say you had a question? I'm looking for your window. I don't see it. Where is Christopher George? Huh. All right. Well, if there are no other, yeah, Christopher seems to have disappeared. Okay. Maybe we'll never know his question. I hope he comes back, though. So, okay. Bit of a mystery here. No other questions? I'm prepared to answer your questions at this time. Chris Kondo, yes. Chris, if you'd like to ask your question, you'll have to agree to unmute. I do see your lips moving and think that you might be asking a question, but since you've not unmuted, and my skills at lip reading are limited, trying again. Oh, I don't know, Chris. Normally, the unmute request just sort of works. So I guess we're just going to move on because, as they say, this is not good radio. So we're going to get right to our open reading. Neil Deswani, you will be our second reader tonight. Please welcome our first reader, Mr. Jeffrey Bryant. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi, everybody. Can you take my hand and pull me through this breaking news with its shrapnel flying on either side of our regulated flesh? Our bodies are illegally occupied by a righteousness that carries us in tornadoes across state lines and drops us onto wheat fields where we lie crop dusted in Bible verses, coughing all of Leviticus out of our lungs. We slip past the pastors in that space between two heartbeats, but where? What part of earth is free of ambition? Between your lips, I find a revolutionary, but no revolution. I taste Ingalls on your tongue, dissolving like I took your speech and I melted it in passion butter. And I wonder, can we keep this up until history is over? Are we just two submissives waiting to see which of us cracks and doms first? What color shoes go with emancipation? How high must my heels be to see the enemy over the ridge? Do the ends justify the moans? Please be patient with me. We occupy each other's darkness, and for now, touching you is my only ideology. Thank you.
Wow, Jeffrey, if we didn't have a whole other open reading and featured reader to see, that would have been enough for me tonight. What a stellar way to begin our reading, coughing up the whole book of Leviticus. I know how messy that could be. Quite a line. Every line was quite a line, honestly. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Jeffrey Bryant. On deck is maybe Christopher T. George. He's not here though, so I guess that's not possible. Richard Loringer, you are on deck. Please welcome now Neil Daswani. Hello, Neil.
Hi, Rick. Hello, everybody. I have just the one poem tonight. It's called The Bardo of Charon. And I guess it's a mix of Greek myth and Buddhist thinking. So the Bardo of Charon. The obligatory obols drop like pennies through the inertia of their empty eyes. Their stone cold bodies, washed and oiled, dressed in finery, made ready to receive all those that might mourn their passing. Soon they will be laid to rest. But there will be no rest, at least not yet, for the transmigratory souls of the newly dead, who hover hummingbird high, each making endless figures of eight above their separate life maps that look hauntingly familiar. Contours they contemplate, now with compassion, regret and retribution being redundant. Childhood castles they built in the sand, the scholarship of studenthood, the grist and grind of the guild, householders and the homestead, the fun and frolic, idyllic islands of two, but also the fissures and fault lines, the crevices and cracks, the crumble, the slow continental drift from what might have mattered. These new old souls meander through the mandala of what used to be their minds. Still grounded by the gravity of grief from the mourners they have left behind, their souls search for the snags in their shrouds that once loosened will loop right through the labyrinths of their lives, past the dragons and the demons, the monsters and the minotaur that once inhabited their minds, the cat's cradle of complications that they've just left behind. In that much rumored out of body experience, they see their discarded bodies as cocoons, pupa of preparation for their bardo of becoming. The souls of the newly dead hang glide in free fall over the drop zone, each soul landing softly without a stumble, without a sound, onto the skiff that waits by the shore, on the spot marked X, just for them, where each soul was always meant to be. It's all over now. They've paid their dues, the coinage of carriage, fare for the ferryman to steer them towards the clear white light that filters through their tunnel vision. Out over here on terra firma, all that we will ever know of their newfound moment of wonderment is that sudden slack jaw moment. Thank you.
Neil, thank you very much. Glad you're here tonight. Especially happy to know that you've agreed to be one of our featured readers in 2026. So glad that
Thank you.
that's coming up, and we'll get to hear a full set from you. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Neil Daswani. All right, on deck is Ike Waltz. Please welcome the triumphant, although limited, return engagement of Richard Loringer. Hello, Richard.
I really missed you guys, and I know that that seems insincere because I just haven't been here. But every Tuesday since August, I've been going to like a gymnasium and dancing and singing because why not? If I can share or try to share, if I can share like a minute and a half, I can manage to do a minute and a half like video with sound, I will show you a very brief piece of dancing that I'm in, even though it's blurry and you probably can't even see me. And if not, we'll do something else. But I think I have to go advanced, and I think I have to do computer audio and try that. And then I share the screen. If this doesn't work, I'll apologize, but okay. I'll need you guys to tell me please tell me you could see and hear that because I couldn't tell. Anyway, I was not the cute, skinny Chinese guy in the front. He was actually the choreographer for that piece. But that's my favorite piece that we've been doing. It's just a blurry video. That's the thing is called the Wandering Ensemble. If you ever want to try to look it up. It's part of Dandelion Dance Theater. Anyway, I thought I would show that. I know that's odd. And then for my second piece, I know, Bill. Well, later in the year, there may actually be like good videos of pieces that I perform in. And we're actually going to be performing in LA in April. So I'll try to let you guys know. For the second thing, I could either do this unfinished 8-line thing I wrote today, or I could do a reprise of the Cobalt Poets jingle that I did in August just before I left and promised to record and only recorded recently. Should I sing to you, or should I just read this not kind of sad, boring thing? I can't hear anybody. I don't know which to do. Okay, Stephanie says sing. I will sing and I will also put an MP3 in the. This is also only like a minute and a half, so yeah, I wrote this just before I had to bow out from you guys in August to join the Wandering Ensemble, and it was a tribute, and I did finally record it, so you can all download that when I'm done. It's just the Cobalt Poets jingle, and it goes like this. It's the poetry super duper highway coming to your super duper door. It's the poetry super duper cobalt flavored wondering favored super duper flooper super roar. It's a poetry super duper carnival on a poetry super duper day. It's a poetry super duper, I don't know what else to call it, fantablastic pyroclastic splay. They come, the poets and their poems and their stanzas and their little feet and ampersands, their meets, their beats, their consonants and assonants. They read and rant and sometimes even rhyme, or not. It's the poetry cobalt flavored highway coming to your super duper day. It's the poetry seismographic paraphrastic orgiastic super duper blooper scooper gooper trooper vooper hooper zooper looper whooper youper way. Hooray! And I mean that. And so here, let me put that file in. I did finally record it because I'm not the worst. I'm only like the worst. And I probably should sign off here. Let me unmute, and then I'll drop that in. Thank you. So it's nice to see you guys. I wish I could come much more often, but they never give me a day off because I can't fucking dance yet. They're like, stop falling down and you can have a day off. I'm trying to learn how to spin, by the way, without tumbling over. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What a shame, because the last 6 months of the Cobalt reading were dedicated to spinning, but we just stopped it last week. But
Yeah.
what are you going to do? We're back to poetry now. Anyway, Richard, it is great to see you
Yeah.
and hear you. Thank you very much for sharing the video and for singing for us. I definitely will try to come check out your reading when you're here in LA. Send me the info, and if I can, I'll be there. And you're of course welcome back anytime. Thanks for being
Yeah, I'll
here.
come when I can. I always miss you guys. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. A round of applause for Richard Loringer on deck. Yes, Christopher G. George, you are on deck. Please welcome now Ike Waltz. Hello, Ike.
Hello. It's Angelicum. It's my seasonal ticket. In Excelsior Dei Diedeldom, Sanctus, Sanctus, in Gloria Jingle Bells, Angelicum. In Excelsior Dei Diedeldom, Sanctus, Sanctus, in Gloria Jingle Bells, Angelicum. Nothing but sum, that miraculous Latin curriculum. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Dada 101. Mozart's Boom Boom Basilica Moratorium. The trumpet screams ta-ta-ra, ta-ra. The squeeze box squeezes children into materia. Emergencies at a bargain. The organ tells a tale of a drama so supine. Bach attempts in suicidal notes, bullet and guns in juvenile ends. Trampolini twitters, X is out of place, TikTok just in case. He crowns his tree that glitters, lines his pockets, and under thee, on our knee, we deserve better, at least We hope so. Don't bury vigilance in a Christmas box. Yet shiny on red silky ribbons may look festive on that busy day. Who is alive in Yemen, Syria, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Venezuela, hysteria? How can anybody sleep anyway? Politics so repugnant, so everyday, the bloody trigger finger points, the daily kill, war crimes, lost count. The mother of all bombs excites, the father of all bombs ignites, and in doubt, promises spew louder than loud, that brainless, deadly mushroom cloud. The violin jubilates, happy, happy Christmas Day, and we pretend to pray. Holy, jolly, scratch, shrum, shrum, the orchestra responds, that familiar curse, dum, diddle, dum, bang, chip, boom. Pray for that lala time of Christianity. Sing, sing, ding along, sing along. That everlasting, that so familiar, what we are so dearly trained to love. That annoying flicker of the candlelight, chocolate flakes and icing on, blue-eyed baby Jesus, Christmas, nutty butter cake, melancholy. Melancholy, pray for the power of the NRA. Opioids kiss little children into good night. Whose blood does not clot when you exhale that classic tale called ice? Oh my God, it's Christmas Day. In excelsior Dei Didldom, Sanctus Sanctus in Gloria, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Just don't take our price away. That loaded pizza angelicum, our Gloria Americum. On my knees I pray, Chabum, Chabum und Saxet Spaghetti Basilicum, omnis spiritus laude Dominum in excelsis Dio. Or is it missa mirabili dictum, de dildum, hypocrisy and deliricum, missa mirabili dictum? They dildum yet hypocrisy seems forever in delirium. So let the trumpet blow, let the fiddle sing, let the drummer jubilate, and the Christmas candlelight forever will tickle and enlighten me. Thank you.
Ike, that was delightful. I especially like the encouragement to ding along, and I think I'm going to make a recording of just you saying Christmas nutty butter cake in your accent and just have that as my ringtone. I'm not sure. I really liked it. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for the delightful Ike Waltz. Thank you, Ike. On deck is our featured reader, Bill Gaines. Please welcome now Christopher T. George, who I assure the screen sharing is now turned on, my friend.
All right. That's what I want. I'm going down to Baltimore. I'm now living in northern Delaware. I'm a long-time Marylander. I'll be going down to Baltimore to be part of a tribute to my longtime poet friend, Dan Cuddy. And I had known Dan for 55 years. I met him at Loyola College in 1970. He was 3 years older than me, died at age 80 on August the 16th. And I didn't know this at the time, but he had been in the army before I met him in Germany. And then he was already married, had children. So, as I say, having known him for 55 years, he felt like, if you will, part of the furniture of my life. So I've been thinking about other people that I've known over the years. So I'm going to read a couple of poems about a couple of those people. This is Konstantin Pantazonis. He was a Baltimore poet, and this is a portrait of him. He passed away very suddenly. This is a poem about him that I wrote. Yasu is a kind of a greeting in Greek. Pomegranate, the Constantine Pantazonis, R.I.P. A Greek New Year tradition is to smash a pomegranate, symbol of abundance, fertility, and good luck. No opportunity to toast you with ouzo, aroma of an anise. Gassou, Dino, so suddenly stolen from us. Primary colors, pomegranate seeds in their red time capsules. Azure sky and sea, each seed a ruby set in cloisonne. The whitewashed wall as your pinnace glides from harbor, no regrets expressed, and none expected. 3 tunny fish dangled from a nail. And another friend that I knew through Jack the Ripper circles, I've written a musical about Jack the Ripper. While I was living in Liverpool, England, where I'm from, in 1992, on 60 Minutes, there was an interview between the late Ed Bradley and a woman who'd written a book about the diary of Jack the Ripper. And this cotton merchant from Liverpool was named as the author of that book. I thought it was a fraud to begin with. Avala, I knew you from chat rooms and internet sites, but we never met. Cheeky chappy with knowledge of photography and soccer. We followed our respective rojos, often commiserated. Now I hear you have died in your native Serbia of stomach cancer, having left your wife in California. I comb through photos on your blog, wonder which face might be yours. Funnily, you always denied you hailed from the former Yugoslavia, although Avala is a mountain near Belgrade. Now I think I've found you, chain smoking behind the steering wheel, chug-a-lugging rum from a paper bag, photographer on a country road, VW Beetle parked in the distance behind you like the Beatles' Abbey Road. Oh, Avala, dear old mate, you photography me. You photograph me for all time. Thanks, everyone.
Christopher, thank you. A couple of things to mention here. First of all, glad we got the technicalities worked out and you're here and able to read. I really like the phrase chug-a-lugging rub, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with that going forward. Also,
Well, you
when you were
have to chug-a-lug some rum, mate.
oh, rum. Okay, that's
rum. Did I say rub? No, rum.
I guess my ears heard rub, but I would prefer to chug-a-lug rum, I guess, given the choice, I guess.
You bet.
But when you were introducing that piece, Christopher, you said another friend who I knew through Jack the Ripper, and then there was an unfortunate pause before you got to the rest of that statement. And so, I started thinking, gosh, how well did Christopher know Jack the Ripper? What, were they colleagues? That kind of thing.
No, but as I say, there was a Jack the Ripper suspect who was named, who lived down the road from me. And I've written a Jack the Ripper musical and can send CDs for $20 if anybody wants to contact me.
I remember the age of physical media, and I encourage people to participate in it. So, all right, Christopher, Yeah, you did say those things after. I'm just highlight. There was a pause again, like you let us believe that Jack the Ripper might be in the other, and you're just hanging out, but that's
No,
okay.
I'm
Uh,
not quite that old, mate.
well, thank you for clearing that up. I'm glad
All
you're here
right.
tonight. Good work as always. Thank you for being here. A round of applause for Christopher T. George. Thank you, Christopher. On deck after our featured reader is Martin Parker, which leads us now to our featured reader, Bill Gaines. I'm really happy to have Bill here. It's always I love being able to present our own regulars here in this space. I think everyone deserves a shot at a featured reading, especially amongst friends, amongst our community, which we've created and curated here. So, Bill, it's great that you're here. Bill, I love your work. There's a lot, not always, but often a lot of brevity in it. And I'm kind of a fan of short attention span theater and impressed with how much you can accomplish with fewer words. Going back to that less is more sensibility, which I always talk about when we talk about the open reading limit. So I'm a fan in that sense. Bill in his bio says that he lives. When I say says, I assume this is all true. That's not. I'm not just saying that as a to kind of cover my bases in case it's not. Well, Bill says, but maybe it's not true. I assume all this is true. I'm just letting you know I'm pulling this info out of the bio now. Bill lives in the southwestern pocket of the Inland Empire, not far from a lake, but far from the first lake you thought of. So there you go, everyone. Um, Down in unincorporated Riverside County, they should really get that county together, I think, somewhere in between wineries, coyote dens, and the endless nighttime highway. He's had work published in Pith magazine, the Farallon Review, and other places. Bill's also a screenwriter. In fact, a screenplay of his won the Best Screenplay Award at the LA Independent Film Festival for a screenplay about mimes. Bill, your gifts are unending. And also, and this is important, I hope you write this down, everyone. I keep neglecting to ask this, but Bill's favorite ocean is the Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our featured reader, Bill Gaines.
It's all true, all of it. I thank you all for being here, and thank you, Rick, for having me. It is very much an honor and a pleasure to be here. Um, Real quick, Rick, can you do me a favor? Can you spotlight me for everyone? There is a visual component. There we go. You might not know this. I have a background in theater, which means I always strive for good lighting design. Now, before I launch into it, I do want to ask for some audience participation. This is entirely optional, but for those who opt in, I'd like to put you in a little trance. Everybody relax your shoulders and arms. Take in a deep breath through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. And gently close your eyes. Keep breathing like this, but at a speed you're comfortable with. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you listen, let the sound go in through your ears and let the feelings flood from your head to your toes. It's just you in there. You're alone. Enjoy it. The world is your oyster. Here we go. Act 1, the calculation. Bubble fight. Two gangs met up for a bubble fight. Shit was talked and wands were drawn. And in the alley, in the middle of town, soapy little spheres bobbed this way and that. And when the cops arrived, the only evidence they found was residue on the bricks and the body of a boy who died from glee. The opera. He sits on a cliff, watching an opera in the ocean. She sits right behind him and stifles urges. The ocean below doesn't know, doesn't care, doesn't demand a sacrifice, but wouldn't refuse one. The opera sings a story of love and betrayal and revenge and of trees and of gold, and it breaks a heart and it lasts a few hours. They'll leave you this, if nothing else. The price is justifiable. Ghosts on the phone. Ghost calling, long distance, just one dime, but the minutes cost minutes. Spend all your future talking about the past, for you are done. Nowhere new, nowhere at all, no one in motion, just ghosts on the phone and echoes between. Simple somethings are finite, falling away. Simple nothings pile up, consuming all. A single point of blockage. One grain holds down the mountain. A single point of blockage to keep it all from floating away. Dare I kick it? I dare. No reaction. Another little grain takes its place. The mountain remains. Shot glass of bullshit. A shot glass of bullshit, hot and fresh. Place it in line behind the rest, then shuffle the stack and light them all aflame, and give them a minute to fill the air with the rejuvenated stink of incompetence. Wretched physics. Stealthy darts of dread shoot through my chest as I imagine I shoot through the world, piercing and merciless, free from laws, but tied to stronger forces, with a phone call every now and then to let me know I missed the mark. I've seen the way the world turns. I've seen the way the world stops. Both of them are beautiful. Both of them scream hard. The bigger picture isn't bigger at all, it's smaller. The little bitty lines and dots in 4 dimensions of a big soggy rock on a never-ending commute. The crest and valley of silent desire. The breakdown of moments of adjustments to every shift in form. The culture of consequence. The consequence of culture. It's sharper and more complete than anyone can know. You take away one planet. A solar system adjusts over time. You put that planet back, it's not the same. Regardless, I'm going home. Act 2, the coffee shop. Crimson Monster. A coffee shop Jesus, walking tall, walking straight, with his human eyes on the human doorway, steps out into the loving morning sun, crosses the street, walks a few blocks down the road, and just like that, he's gone. Don't worry, Earthlings, don't be afraid. We expect to be moving shortly. A gentle rocking has lulled me to sleep, and a less gentle rocking has reawakened me, only I'm different now. I'm a 5-headed crimson monster now. I smash cherry blossom trees into pancakes, and I smash pancakes into stars. Orange, brown, and blue. My dearest pal is an old dead tree, the ghost of wooded mountainsides, once lush but then burned over. He's always up for a beer or two and never bores me with stories of valor. Standing beside him is easy and free. He's a good old tree with blackened roots and gnarled limbs, and I chop, chop, chop with my axe till we both fall down and crumble to powder to blow in the dirty wind. Ashes to ashes, trust to trust. The pressure. So few years, yet so weary the soul. A century blooms on a town like a seasoned rock. Its busy critters repeating. New pathways, new rewards, always in flux, yet always the same. The pressure illusion is not something felt. The pressure is time itself, and geological ages pass in the tiniest slices of life. Coffee shop. This poem is in 5 parts. Part 1. In a city like this live the people for whom the coffee shops define it all. And these are the coffee shops that are themselves defined by the clever poets who never write poems, but instead browse the online van store and live out the poetry of the times on Facebook and Twitter and drink drinks from cups with sloppy barista shorthand down the side. In a city like this, you can look around for joy and, finding nothing, romanticize the boredom. Part 2. It's all in the air. Breathe it in. Use your eyes. If there's a younger generation left 20 years from now, they'll look at the pictures of the way we were and jump to some fun conclusions. For look at us all. What a bunch of zombies we are. What a bunch of coffee-drinking sleepwalkers. What a bunch of users, consumers, and meaningless birds. Surfers on particles, skeleton horses, baskets of grass, grinders and spinners and ollies and supers. Breathe it in. Part 3. I can hear your eyes counting down, and I can see your fingers counting up. It'll all be over soon. Relax. Fables end with a lesson learned, and so do the finest friendships. A thief is a thief, but a liar is human. The sweetest music leaves a bitter taste sometimes, so we listen anyway, but we slurp this old coffee with hope and lies. Part 4. I like Roman numerals. They make me smile. I like when a public restroom looks like someone lives there. I like a good trail for cars by a body of water. I like homeless fake eyelashes and half-eaten cookies. I like feeling tough because it happens so rarely. I dream about getting into fights. I dream about touring in a rock and roll band. I dream about ninjas and semicolons. I dream about that dream with the dinosaur and the flowers. I worry that my brother will find out about that dream. I worry that I'm addicted to caffeine. I worry that I won't dream about what I like. Part 5. Last one, then I'm gone. I'm getting sick of this place. Good, solid, empty space is hard to appreciate, but easy to miss when it's gone. These people are going nowhere, so make some room. Breathe it in while you can, but prep your lungs for a change. The hour is up, a new hour is here, and with it, new people, like an upward slant on a standard graph. Wait it out or run away. Wait it out or run away. What we got is a circle. What we wanted was a call. Wait it out or run away. Part 6, I lied. I've lied before. I've been wrong before in a truthful way, but usually I lie. I'm lying to myself, saying that this tasty, dirty water will keep me awake while I dream. I've lied to friends and family, sometimes one at a time, and sometimes all at once. I've lied about cats, and I've lied about money, and I've lied about vans, and I've lied about a car, and I've lied about what I've lied about, and I've lied in my dreams, and I've lied in the face of love, and I've said so many things that I regret. So just for now, I will stand in the street and look up through the window and observe the life, screaming through time like a freight train on fire. And for once, beautiful once, I will shut the fuck up. Act 3, the scale. Home is hard to find. Roam well the cosmos, but map your way home with relative breadcrumbs in space and time. For home is surprisingly hard to find. And as big as it is, and as much as there is, it's really quite small. And you are small too. So if you must roam, roam well. in a vacuum. In a vacuum, a feather falls as fast as your puke. So let it out, sailor. Here comes a seagull. Black, white, and bronze. Ring that gong, astronaut. It doesn't make the sound, but the people who pleasure gravity waves will know you closed the deal. Black, white, and green. An uncomfortable panda watches a bartender in a traveling grave, sees him serving drinks to those that grieve, hears him telling them they'll feel better soon. The panda knows what the mourners do not, that the great gift of life is a beverage in hand, and the higher you raise it to toast the departed, the longer it lasts, the better it tastes. Chameleon. Poor little wastrel with the moon in your window and the bean in your backyard. You'll never know how fast your car can really go. With a bang and a whoosh, this train is filled with girls, laughing, spoiled, and drunk, and you blend right in among them like a Waldo in the park. Not desired, not abhorrent, just invisible. And when the excitement dies down, when the college kids are gone, you remain and reappear, and you take off down Southport with a twinkle in your eye. And though I can see you plainly, you look like the space between the stars. Heart balloon. Just a chunk of art, this heart balloon. No magic, no technology, and yet I am transported from a chest with no oxygen to a mountain in the sky with unicorn boba bars run by Galaxy Bear baristas. Pink circles make it airy, green squiggles make it soft. We drink delicious melancholy. We never get sleepy. We tickle each other forever, and we take our deaths in stride. Buckle up. The Nothing Poem. So I stand here with a pen, waiting for the opus to spill, the black to end all black on the white to end all white. And obviously, I feel nothing. And the longer I wait, the deeper it sinks. I have no ambition. I have only coffee. I have no dreams. I have only fear. I have no poem. I have only language, and it's not even mine. What the fuck? So into the page I stare, and my focus narrows down, 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 until the whole goddamn world is gone, and all that remain are the dwindling white space and the tip of a pen. As the page disappears, so too does the window and the crumbling remains of my imagination. There's no trade for worldly goods. For worldly goods exist in the world, and the world no longer exists. Sweet, merciful something, it's just like my life. I focus in with a tool to write, and thusly I write nothing. So I look out the window and rediscover a world that does indeed exist. Moving cars, and moving trees, and moving me. And thusly I write nothing. And I turn back to the page, blank as it ever was, to fill it with talk of a moving world that does indeed exist. And thusly I write nothing. So I stand here with a pen, and in my pocket a buck and change, and on my hand a self-applied tattoo of my self-assigned dues. And the longer I stare at my palm, the more the ink fades, and soon I will forget. I take my money and I buy some coffee and I get these ideas and I call them dreams, and life is colorful and the crosswalk is clear and the storefronts are also attractive and new, and the ink on my hand fades away and the history of the world floats up to space, and thusly I write nothing. So I stand here with a pen, a dozen empty seats, but only one excuse to stand. And that, of course, is that I'll fall asleep if I sit down. And if I fall asleep, I fall away. And while the world moves in one direction, in dreams I move another, just as fast and just as true, but a little bit off, and in slightly different colors than you'd think. Blue roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I, by sheer coincidence, lose focus, bend genres, hop dimensions, break apart. Then a speck of lucidity opens like quicksand. A yank to the head and the forced opening of burdened eyelids. A punch in the face, and I'm still in the same old world I ever was in, that anyone ever was in. And up I look to find I'm 2 stops past home. A perfect excuse to stand amid a dozen empty seats. So I stand here with a pen, and thusly I write nothing. Thank you for being here tonight, everybody. I have 2 more before I go. The penultimate poem of the Bill Gaines portion of the evening is titled The Desert at Night. You don't know you're in the desert when you're in the desert at night. Your upward glance doesn't burn. You see stars in blue like the ocean, only darker. You don't feel the heat on your heels. It's cool as a step. You don't hear the sun. You hear the moon. On the horizon, you see 2-dimensional matte black mountains with lazy windmills. And trucks drive by like ghosts of the 20th century. West to east, one at a time. Whales through purgatory. Constellations on the road. Third space. Fully stocked and open for business. Advertising by scent, by color, ready to serve a thirsty crowd of buzzing, chirping, pugilist hummingbirds. A workday's reward, red flowers in the sage, third space between the other 2, well matched over time. Ride the broad horizon for consistency with the season. Find a balance and live those days. Thanks for coming along with me, everybody. That is it for me, but there is a lot more good poetry still to come. And if you stay all the way to the end, you get a special treat from our gracious host. So don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. There's more on the way. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bill. I hope the traffic's okay where you are, as well as the weather, and you're eating healthily. Ladies and gentlemen, our featured reader, Bill Gaines. What a unique, wonderful presentation. How cool that you put so much thought into not just what you were reading, but how you were reading it and how it looked while you were reading it. Also, liar.
What?
You know what I'm talking about. Bubble fight. That's something that I'd like to participate in. I appreciated the experiential beginning of it. That's really cool. Set a nice tone and mood for us. The line "I smash pancakes into stars" also had a Jack Riparian pause after it that got me thinking and wondering. That was a cool image to think about. Um, yeah, great all around. Thank you very much for that, Bill. And you brought a lot of people out on top of which, so all good stuff. I'm going to share the screen and show the broadside for the poem that you sent me, which is one of the ones that you read tonight. I really like this poem a lot. There it is in a vacuum. Ooh, I forgot to paste the stuff in the chat. Let me do that as well. There, the stuff is pasted in the chat. You can download this broadside at the Cobalt Poets website there at the link, the second link I just posted. Or maybe that's the fourth link when you think about it, but it's in the second paragraph. Maybe these are just stanzas. I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope that you'll consider tipping Bill for his reading. There's a couple of ways to do that. There's both Venmo and PayPal IDs. If you use one of those, it's the same thing as if you were at an in-person reading, and a hat goes around after the featured reader, and people put money in it to give to the featured reader. PayPal and Venmo are the hat tonight. Bill also suggested quite generously that you can tip him just by following him on Instagram. So that's another way that you can let Bill know that you like and appreciate him and his work and his efforts to share the plight and exploits of mimes with the world as well. Bill, thank you so much. Great
Rick,
job.
Rick, I have one more thing. I would like to drop a link in the chat if I may. You have been so generous the entire time that I've been here. Every single week, you give somebody a broadside for one of their poems, and I think that's wonderful. But I reckon it was high time somebody did one for you, so I did. There is a link, and that is all for you. But anybody here is welcome to go take a look at it as well. And I have to say, I'm really relieved that you decided to read that particular poem last week, because I started working on this well in advance, and I was a little worried about spoilers, but you took care of that for me last week. So there it is.
Wow, this looks so cool. Thank you very much. I'm going to share that widely. That's a really cool thing that you did there, Bill. Unnecessary, but highly appreciated. Looks really cool.
Very necessary. Very necessary, Rick.
Look at all those bears in the background. Man, I didn't see that many bears in Alaska proper. So glad to finally get some bears out of this whole thing. Cool. I'm really blown away, honored, delighted, thrilled, and appreciative of that. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for everything, Rick. It has been a blast doing this. I'm so glad that you are all here for it.
By the way, Bill, when I die, which could be any minute now, maybe you could take over and do the broadsides.
Oh man, that's a lot of work. I'll say sure. Why not? If you die,
I mean, I could stipulate in my will that it just becomes a monthly series or something.
No,
Think
well,
about
listen,
it.
listen. If you die suddenly and unexpectedly, we'll adjust and we'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. Really beautiful. Thank you very much. I really love this. All right, round of applause for our talented, multi-talented pancake smasher, mime aficionado, poet, guy who looks good in the dark, Bill Gaines. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you all.
I
Now,
will
more open mic. Let's get to it.
We're getting to it right now. I'll quickly mention, though, before we do that, next week our featured reader will be Southern California poet Kevin Ridgway, who's a fellow I've known for a long time, a little bit, and I got to see him read in Long Beach a couple of months ago and really dug what he did, and he's going to be our featured reader next week. Kevin Ridgway. That leads us now to the rest of tonight's open reading. Here's who I have in this order: Martin Parker, Carrie Cox, Martina Robles Gallegos, Ed Potastic, Melody Anderson Bromidis, Julian Matthews, Sean Mahoney, Cheryl Latif, Michael G. Hickey, Jennifer Elise Wang, Heidi Casa, and me. If anyone else would like to be added, feel free to send me a message in the chat and I'll be happy to add you. Friendly reminder, 2 poems maximum, less is more is the suggested time limit. Carrie Cox, you are on deck. Please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. Great to be here. Great feature there, Bill, and great to hear everybody else so far. Looking forward to the rest. Thought I'd share a holiday poem to go with my background here tonight. This is one I'm sure I've read here before about this time of year, but I've updated it a little bit this afternoon. So this is called Holiday Relish. As seasonal displays of lights appear, the lobby of my apartment exudes the scent of mulling cider and spice that takes me back to memories of youth, of drinking juice from orchards nearby and making cranberry relish raw. We'd grind it by hand this time of year, with oranges added, peel and all. And a metal food mill my parents used that hid in the back of our pantry shelf. But since they've lost interest in turning the crank, I end up making it by myself, sorting the berries and filling the chute. Though now I use a plastic mill, I find the taste is still worth the work to help me through this season of chill. Now, I wrote that about 4 years ago. And in the interim, I've found out some interesting news. So this is the second poem here. It's called Addendum. The Cranberries React. But maybe the cranberries feel they're abused, being crushed through the little holes of that mill. For just the other day, I learned a fact that's a bit of a bitter pill. Turns out one food that affects my blood most, those poor little cranberries. So tradition is toast. So as you can see, my opinion of cranberries has changed over the years. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you want to check out my links, I've got a calendar that I may have mentioned already. If people are still doing paper calendars, and I've flogged this already. I think I've shown it here even. Maybe I haven't. Improvs in Black and White, an anthology that includes one of my poems, and I did the cover for Poetry Global Network Publishing. We're hoping to release 3 individual collections from 3 different poets this coming week. So I'll have links for that pretty soon, I hope. Thanks again, everyone.
Very cool. Thank you, Martin. Glad the cranberry mystery has been cleared up. Christopher, I think, showed a picture of pomegranate seeds, and so which look kind of similar to cranberries a little bit. So maybe there's something you guys can work together on or think about. I don't know.
I may have to switch to that for this holiday.
All right, maybe. Thank you for being here. A round of applause for Martin Parker. On deck, Martina Robles Gallegos, please welcome Carrie Cox. Hi, Carrie.
Hello. How's everyone? Hello. Hi. I have 2 poems tonight. So the first one is called Will You Listen? Will you listen if I speak of the errors of our ways? I'm crumbling like old asphalt, making way for grass and weeds to spurt from the cracks where rain leaks through. Will you listen if I forget how we met? How every word whispered to the dark comes back like an echo of light when the day comes back to wake the dreaming dust. Will you listen? Will you speak if I listen like wind, a soft howl of eyes locked on a prize? I will give you leeway, a freeway, a road trip, a fat lip, a sordid sip of the tip of my iceberg heard flipping in ice cold channels where auroras gleam and horizon dew, refracting a million fly-eyed versions of you. Will you glisten if I drown you just a little? If I breathe into your pores, a skin song improvised, a silence impoverished, a bombed out way of being. When the bunkers unbuild us and history stills us into Pompeii positions where we froze in a Fibonacci curl, a fraction of fractal scent, making math of our misery. Will you listen if I spell it with my finger into your palm, or have your holy hands gone numb again? I rescue the best pieces of our puzzle and make a new map out of stars and memory and old concertos played through a hissing needle, a spun-up saga, an instrument in tune with nothing but emptiness and old shoelaces pulled tight and strummed. If I say I need you this time, will you plumb the depths of your ambivalence for something stronger? Tree bark and deadly decisions, gasoline and sparks stealing each other's dangerous labels to warn each other of what together we might become. And then my next poem is about the solstice, since I won't see you all. And the solstice is coming up, the shortest day of the year. And so this is my solstice poem. Slow, like a heartbeat sleeping, the sundial has its own pendulum swing. On the shadow side, in the stillness, a breath held, all life in momentary suspension, surrendered to the darkest moment. Yet roots lie hidden beneath that frozen earth, waiting for a chance to break through to a brighter glint, a sun-warmed morning. And so we too live quiet, hidden lives, sheltered from cold. We rock on this axial tilt, moon pulling tides on the oceans inside us, surging, receding, each new season's celestial rhythms echoing through every atom, each particle at pause, then dancing back into glorious song as the pendulum swings fast back along its sudden sweep, and we wake healed and hopeful from this long, cold winter's sleep. Thank you.
Harry, thank you. And answering for everyone, yes, we will listen whenever you're here. So thank you so much for being here and giving us something to listen to.
Thank you.
Happy solstice. Round of applause for Carrie Cox. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. Thanks, Belle. You're awesome. That was so good.
Was indeed. All right. On deck, Ed Potastic. Please welcome now Martina Robles Gallegos. Hello, Martina.
Hello, Rick. Thank you. Okay, I have two, but I may just end up reading one. We'll see. I'm too sleepy. Okay, this one is titled Home Alone on Christmas. With relatives who passed away, others who have left the country forever, and the rest on the other side of the country, freezing in the snow, but in the company of strangers, I will spend Christmas alone at home with my pets. I will be playing with my cat in the middle of the night as she runs upstairs and lies down on the rug, then looks at me shyly and zooms into a room. When I return to my bed, I hear a soft meow and I call to her, "Come, honey, come, honey. Bunky, bunky." She understands. And she quickly jumps onto the bed and I tell her, "Go in the buggy, go in the buggy." And she gets under the covers and starts making muffins on her favorite blanket. When she's fast asleep, it's time for a little fun. I say, "Pipio," and she answers. Then I keep talking nonsense just to hear her talk again. When I stop talking nonsense, she goes back to sleep. When she's very hot, she starts sniffing around under the covers and meowing softly. I make her earn her exit, and when she does, she flies 2 or 3 meters from the bed to the rug. I love watching her in midair. She looks like a flying cat. It's like, shoot. Oops. Okay. Early in the morning, after breakfast, she walks into the living room and sits by the stool where the sun always shines. The silhouettes on the guava tree leaves begin to dance on the wall, and the cat knows it's time to play. She loves watching the shadows and tries to catch them. I make shadows with my hands or fingers, and she has a wonderful time trying to catch them all. And she seems to smile the whole time she plays. When she sits in front of the glass door and sees birds, I say the usual "pipio," and she responds with her usual cute little snore. She wants to climb onto the cage that's no longer there, and she stares at the new bird in the cage, which has a new perch she can't reach but wishes she could. She takes out her frustration on the stray cats that invade her front and backyards and shoos them away. And she loves playing with sparkly, shiny chains, and the videos end up on TikTok, and she gets more likes than mom's other posts, but it brightens her day. I'll spend my Christmas home by myself any day. Okay, I'll do the other one. It's kind of short anyways.
Thank you, Martina. Nothing makes me happier than cat poems. Thank you so much for those. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Martina Robles Gallegos. Having said that, I am reading a new book of dog poems. Billy Collins' newest book is called Dog Show. It's really good. 25 poems about dogs. I'm reading one a day just so it doesn't go by too quickly because Billy Collins doesn't put out a book all that often. I highly recommend it. New Dog Show. On deck, Melody Anderson Bromides. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed. Ed, are you there? Alrighty, we'll try to come back to Ed later and say, Julian Matthews, you are on deck. Please welcome now Melody Anderson Bromides. Hello, Melody.
Hey there. I was worried about following Ed, so this is working out very well. My poem tonight is called The Killing of Ants. I suppose everyone has different views on the killing of ants. This morning, a Friday, I see 6 ants running around my sink. I go to them. I go to turn on the water, drown them, and stop myself. Why? Why kill them with barely a thought to it? They really are not bothering me. Not these 6, not today. I think they have a day or so to live, and I am accelerating it. But no, I Google ants. I read that they are sterile queens and can live up to 5 years. 5 years is 5 years. I let them go, live. The, I'll call, fertile queen who births all these ants lives from 2 to 20 years. How would I know if I drowned her? And would that be a good thing? Yesterday, I am beset with hundreds of ants, an infestation in the bathtub. I do what I rarely do, sprayed them with Raid Kills Bugs Dead. I am like an executioner gone wild. Chase them all over the tub, spray them one by one. Raid Kills Bugs Dead was written, or so I thought, by one of my favorite beat poets, Lou Welch. He worked for an ad agency at that time. The Google write up questions whether Lou Welch had sole authorship for the famous advertising slogan. Today, I wonder if this slogan was one of the reasons Lou Welch disappeared in the woods one day, never to be found. Like me, did he too worry about the ants? Feel at all responsible for their demise? When I worked at Chevron, we were beset with large spiders, daddy long legs. When I became concerned with their wherewithal, I took them by a leg and walked them out of the building. I gently placed them on the grass. Later, I Googled spiders and discovered there were indoor spiders and outdoor spiders. By walking an indoor spider, daddy long legs, outside, I was confusing the issue. Another godlike act. While I liked my job and loved my boss, I couldn't imagine living here 24/7. By the end of the day, 4:30 p.m. van time, I was ready to go. If the spiders, daddy longlegs, could tolerate it, more power to them. I quit walking the indoor spiders out, let them live their lives. When I go to check on the ants in the sink, there are 3 left. Where do they go? There are no ants in the tub. I can take a bath without a queen, a sterile queen ant floating by. I've heard that peppermint is an organic way of killing ants. I decide to not go there. It must be the weather, 43 degrees outside, that is bringing all the ants inside. I decide to be kind to the ants. Let them be. I'll let everyone have their own opinion on the killing of ants. My son is a raids kind of guy. All I can think, a thought that keeps me more tolerant, all I can think is that the ants, my ants, are not mosquitoes. After all, never mind the wasps. That's it.
Well, that was plenty, Melody. Thank you very much. The very first poem I ever got published back in the 90s was a poem about ants, interestingly enough. So I was paying attention to see what they're up to lately because I learned everything about ants in poems. So thank you very much for that. I didn't know they lived 5 years. That's cool information to have. Melody, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Round of applause for Melody Anderson Bermides. Thank you, Melody. On deck, Sean Mahoney. Please welcome now Julian Matthews. Hello, Julian.
Hi. Share screen. This is called teeth. My father always said the tongue has no bone, but he never counted on the 32 teeth to hold it back. Incisors up front to cut the chitter chatter, canines to tear into titillating tittle tattles, bicuspids to crush the cussing canards and confabulations, molars to grind the goss and the grandiosity, and the wisdom found rooted at the back of the mouthy. Dad's idioms always rang true, though, when it came to politicians, presidents, and PMs, those who forget the lesson of the dentist chair, the pulling of baby teeth as a ramp to adulthood, the magic of sticking them under pillows for the tooth fairy. How did believers of such myths lose the calcium in their spines? How did it migrate to their boneheads? How did they learn to weaponize their tongues and shoot their mouths off? If I could free my hands from the vice grip of this phone, I'd shut my ears from lolling liars and perhaps live longer. It's hard to sink my teeth into any stream and not come out screaming. It takes grit to endure all the grinding and gnashing, to hear the silver spoon all foamy, forked, and foul-mouthed, normalizing piggy, ugly, stupid, and pussy. When did fake news become a fallback catchphrase for unflattering coverage of fascist failure? You can fool some of the people some of the time, they say, from your belligerent, biting banter, but some of us, the others, are too long in the tooth to know better of this othering. The tongue may not have a bone, but now is the time to speak up, stand up, not shut up, and bare your teeth. Thank you.
Stellar piece tonight, Julian. From your words to all sensible people's ears. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Julian Matthews. Great piece. On deck, Cheryl Latif. Please welcome now Sean Mahoney. Hello, Sean.
Oh my gosh. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I lost my train of thought. I drifted off. I went somewhere. I have two pieces tonight. The first one's really short, and it's, I guess, what's called an imagist poem. And the image is from a period, probably in the late 80s. I had come down to Orange County, California to see The Princess Bride with my friends. I lived in Fresno at the time. And this is drawn from that experience, that night. This is called Cigarette. A night I remember, the outline of her black hat pegged to the orange glow of a pyramid-shaped fountain, a juggling shadow, 12:55 a.m. Tuesday. This other piece is, I don't know. I'm just going to say angry for lack of a better word. We fucked the country out of God and money. His Holiness now a bright fallow field, holding on to pennies and aluminum cans for recycling. When my head hurt, Dr. Ellen's needles engaged my fog and throb. I could not look away from a pickle party, fucking the country out of God and out of money. The soft twin powers pour into memes. What little faith I have left in us is often hosed down before our very us. when my head hurt, acknowledging repetition. Headaches don't frequent my brain damaged. I remember the word for dog is dog. God begat. God strayed from the one path and instead ended on the one path, 17 westbound, to all seriousness. Two, we didn't deserve what we had. And two, let's be clear about what you expect belief in. Clearing a plate is a process summoning perpetual spring, frequent fall, and sugar cubes. Clearing a field may be as easy as dicing cucumbers and clearing the breadboard from the pickle party, fucking the country out of God and out of money. A column of spinal cords, a veritable Yahtzee of vertebrae. None of you in office recall this life, this joy. No, your mothers are not proud. Thank you.
Wow, Sean, I appreciate the sadness in your first piece and the frustration and righteous anger in your second piece. I'd never heard the phrase pickle party though, and I really want to go to one though, so I'm not sure how to.
Isn't that from that Seth Rogen movie a couple years ago or something like that? About sausages? I thought there was a pickle party or something coming from that. I don't know. It's probably searchable on Google.
Rest assured, I will be spending the remainder of the evening finding out what a pickle party is and organizing one, I think,
We'll
after we're
expect the
done here.
poem next week.
Maybe. We'll see. Sean, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your work. You went up to 11 tonight. Round of applause for Sean Mahoney. On deck, Michael G. Hickey. Please welcome now Cheryl Latif. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello. Sorry for the time it took me to do that. It's nice to be here with everyone. And, there's nothing like Tuesday at poetry. So I got a couple pieces here. This first one is entitled Umbra. Night and day, I speak to the sky. Crows line telephone wires as if witness to this reaching past cumulus clouds, this wish to be carried past pain, past the past pressed upon each day. At the shore of my Pacific, sand shifts under my feet like fickle hearts, ever moving toward something new. Like you lost to me now, mere ripples of sound and motion, abacus beads, adding subtractions. Bowed limbs like question marks punctuate the air, cleave the mystery of paths harder to forge this muddied season. Despair falls upon me like rain. Thank you. This next piece is entitled Winter's Approach. If I could read the grains of sand on just one beach, I would know the prayer songs of sweet salt breezes, the hidden truth of tide pools. I would know everything and nothing. Asleep on the couch, your dreams flutter, escape to the roof next door. I wonder if they too watch the exquisite death of rose petals falling to the ground. Surrounded by your quiet slumber, I forget the frailty of this moment and the next. Doors that stick in winter, unanswered mail, the morning of dahlias ruined by first frost, hobbled by the cold like bones. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Your first poem, did the word you said, was it fickle hearts?
Hang on, I just closed it. Probably did say fickle hearts.
It maybe I don't know. It sounded, maybe this is, I'm inferring things here or hearing things, but it sounded like pickle hearts.
Oh no, I wouldn't say pickle hearts.
I just feel like there's a secret pickle agenda that is happening, that maybe somehow subconsciously altered the way your words sounded for all of us, and it sort of sounded like pickle hearts, even though you meant fickle hearts.
Yeah, where are we here? I'm looking for it actually. In the first poem.
Yeah, it's okay. I
Okay.
just, it's just a warning, I think to all of us to be careful of the secret pickle agenda, which is, revealing itself tonight.
Right. No, it was shifts under my feet like fickle hearts.
Fickle, yeah.
You're on pickle tonight, though.
Right. We'll let it slide this time, I guess. Cheryl, great work as always. Thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
thank you. Thank
Round
you.
of round of applause for Cheryl Lateef. Thank you, Cheryl. On deck, we're going to try Ed Potastic again. Please welcome now Michael G. Hickey. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Rick. I thought she said pickle hearts too, so you're not alone there. I'm going to read two poems tonight. The first one is I did a book launch last Saturday night for my newest book, and I got to the venue a little bit early, so I drove around with my 15-year-old for a while, and I showed him my old neighborhood in Lower Queen Anne, about a mile from the Space Needle. And I got this flashback of this poem that I had written. This is back when I first moved to Seattle in 1989. This poem is called The House Across the Street. In 9 years, never had a barbecue with them, never traded stories across the fence, never said hello, not even once. So when the couple across the street moves out, I vow to woo the new neighbors, return to a sense of community. The monolithic yellow moving van rolls up on a Monday morning in July. I'm late to work, but promise myself that later I'll bake them a bundt cake or maybe offer to mow the lawn. A short, round woman, a small blonde daughter, and a white cat with a collar that jingles. I see all three sitting on the porch one warm night with the trellis and clapboard, something icy to drink, beads of condensation sliding down the side of the glass in a Tennessee Williams motif. I want to offer salutations from under the street lamp. Hey, neighbor, still in boxes? How's it going so far? I live over here. My name is, if you ever need anything, but I don't. This morning, I'm smoking a cigarette on the front stoop. The new neighbor's white cat sashays along the sidewalk on my side of the street, jingles the little collar bell, and eyeballs me suspiciously as the wind snatches a handful of my smoke. This makes the feline nervous, and as a car approaches, the cat makes a fantastic last dash at the worst possible moment. The car drives on, the cat trembles in the road, a final frantic dinging of the bell, then stops twitching. I carry the animal limp in my arms across the street, across Aloha Avenue. The round woman cries. Her daughter says, "Look, Kitty's still alive. Her eyes are open." I close the cat's eyes, wrap it in an old beach towel, and bury it in their backyard with a square head shovel. This is my housewarming gift, my special welcome to the neighborhood. The girl pulls up a nasturtium from the garden, plants it on the moist earth, and plants it on the moist earth of the fresh grave. She and her mother thanked me and hugged me in the way that strangers embrace strangers and survivors embrace survivors when they share something too painful for words. And I leave without asking their names and without really wanting to know. And the second poem is a little bit more upbeat. I read this at my 50th high school reunion a little while ago, and I think it went over well, and for some of them, maybe not for some others. Anyway, this is called Identifying the Enemy, 1974, when this really happened. Determined to serve, protect, and save my Catholic high school from the scourge of illegal drugs, the local police of Belleville, Illinois, arrived to a modest fanfare on a Friday morning in February. Without uniforms or riot gear, billy clubs, twirling batons like in a holiday parade, no tear gas canisters or handcuffs, nothing cool like that. Not even a lousy service revolver snapped to a bulletproof vest. The war on drugs is a war without weapons, at least it is in my Catholic high school, Our Lady of Great Scrutiny. Wide-eyed teenagers gather as if at a surgical procedure, squinting at the assorted tools of the drug trade: bongs, water pipes, rolling papers, rolling machines, roach clips, superchargers, fake joints, and more paraphernalia. The detectives take turns explaining each exhibit's purpose. If we are, say, at a party, the taller detective explains, and see any of these items, we should calmly but quickly leave the premises, call our parents, summon the authorities, run in front of a car, set something on fire, but get the hell out of there. The other detectives suggest we watch Reefer Madness and discuss it with our parents. By afternoon homeroom, 47 of the 50 exhibits are missing or otherwise unaccounted for. There are rumors, threats, and innuendos. They begin to spin devil dervishes through the dusty halls. Super suspensions and expulsions are guaranteed. Resounding verbal indictments reverberate off the walls. Graduation postponed, canceled, criminal charges loom. Our entire school learned a valuable lesson that day, not about drugs so much, but that our principal, Father Ryan, could make his face turn the same color as a tomato in my mother's garden, and his vocabulary could send a man of the cloth straight to hell. Thank you. I think I might have stole a hash pipe now that I think about it.
Wow, 50 years, that's quite a lot of time to go back and see all the people. But I hope it worked out okay. Michael, thank you so much for being here. Cool experience to be able to show your son your old neighborhood. Many more experiences like that to you, my friend.
Thank
Thanks
Rich.
for being here.
And for this new book, I'll put it in the chat. Thank you very much, everybody.
Please do. Round of applause for Michael G. Hickey. On deck, Jennifer Elise Wang. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed.
Hello, our wonderful host that we love the most, that deserve a toast, that never ever that goes coast to coast. Thank you, Bill, for your potastic thrills. And we have to watch the pickle agenda. Some say is a big deal. Oh, yeah, that joke was a little sour. But anyway, thank you. My name is Ed Potastic, host for the Fantastic. Please, in time, control my rhyme. Follow sublime. I got two pieces, so I won't take too much time. This is called Balancing Act. We're on tight ropes, juggling like dopes, balancing our responsibilities, hold on to probabilities and capabilities. We're the first act. Please don't have a heart attack. You're done, but the bell hasn't rung. Here's a hat. Yes, do that. You're a lion tamer, the strainer and entertainer, spotting alluring danger. Here's a wig. Your other gig. You're the silly clown making funny sounds. You're the son of the clouds or the talk of the city or town. Here's another hat. You deserve a pat. You're the ringmaster, moving faster, not causing disasters. Look at your happy crowd. You're making us very proud. It's not easy being in a circus. Don't be nervous balancing your purpose. It's hard to work on cue, but who else but you? Life is full of wonders and delights. Enjoy them, but please don't be uptight. Thank you. My last one is called Reemboggering a Retrospect. Our minds is a projector, the movie of the reflector, the fond memories of life, the taste of sweet and strife. We were so cute and innocent. Some were nasty and ignorant. It's tough watching the vivid screens, but it's the movie of our humanity. You can remember day by day the colors of red, green, black, and gray, the surreal times of colorful youth. The pains and gains had no substitute. The stories gnawing in our bones, the experiences carved in stones, the inner movie playing back, the ages seem to fade to black. The times hasn't yet left our past. The stories aren't gone in a flash. The nostalgia is wrapped around us tight. The wisdom of fight, flight, and delights. The movie's still going long and strong. This isn't wrong to where you belong. Thank you. And again, thank you so much for giving me your time. And you know I'm up for a rhyme. Thank you for being so sublime.
I'm glad you made it back, Ed, because you almost put yourself in a pickle there when we called on you last time and you weren't there. So welcome back. Glad to hear you. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Ed. Picktastic. On deck, Heidi Casa, please welcome now Jennifer Elise Wang. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, so today's my birthday, and so I thought it would be sort of appropriate in my weird, morbid way to share my poem called Birth, which is actually about abortion and in response to Roe versus Wade being overturned. Also, coincidentally, it recently just got published. It's been sitting in a queue for a while. So I'll drop the link to the pieces that are appearing in Scarlet. So this is Birth. I read the news in between baby announcements from two old roommates while I was sitting on the toilet, feeling like I gave birth to a demon. It was just cramps and a clot, cells that could be flushed away. But I'm also reminded of the haunting I experience from this body that does not feel like my own. You're too young. You will change your mind. Motherhood is sacred, the greatest accomplishment of a woman. I don't even want to be a woman, and I'm old enough to be jailed for trying to take care of an accident or even just having an accident. I could be punished for saving a child's life by giving them what I couldn't have, help stop the metamorphosis before they become haunted by demons that grow in their bodies. In between the congratulations I composed to my old roommates, I think about aborting the girlfriend they knew, the daughter my parents had, and plan for my own birth one day. And my second piece, something completely different. I was at an anime convention this weekend and was handing out poems to people who inspired it. So this is a video game themed anthology, or not a video game, a gaming themed anthology. So it has video games, tabletop, and board games. That one of my poems was there and was giving it to the participants of a D&D campaign that I watched that inspired this piece. It is a villanelle called Call of Elistray. Elistray is a goddess in Dungeons and Dragons of the moon, dance, and swordsmanship. Take her outstretched hand with a vow under the moon's light and join the dance to the eternal lands. This divine feud was long planned. She looks for one to show her might. Take her outstretched hand and the sword bearing her brand. Upon dark forces, use it to smite and join the dance to the eternal lands. An army she will give you to command, to strike down those not on her side of right. Take her outstretched hand, by her side you shall stand. Be her champion, her knight, and join the dance to the eternal lands. The goddess looks for a companion, and she will be an ally in your fight. Take her outstretched hand and join the dance to the eternal lands. Yay!
I came across this pickle birthday cake while you were reading, Jennifer. It seemed appropriate for tonight since you've chosen to spend it with us. It looks delicious, doesn't it?
I was going to say, I hate pickles. So that was like, this would be horrifying to receive.
Well, Even pickles deserve a chance to be in a cake, I think. I'm sure you would agree with that. Nice job. Thanks for being here. I hope you get to have some fun and celebrate your birthday in some ways besides being here with us. And we're sure glad that you're part of this whole thing that we do every week. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your work and happy birthday.
All right, thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Round of applause for Jennifer Elise Wang. A couple more, Heidi Casa, Chris Kondo, and then me, and that's our reading tonight. So Chris Kondo, you are on deck. Please welcome now Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. Bill, that was awesome. Loved your set, and happy birthday, Jennifer. I just have one tonight. The Eyes of the Imagination. Riding bikes in the neighborhood, I twisted like a biker in the long opening scene of BMX Bandits, weaving not through streets, but tricking out on the winding walkway overlooking Bondi Beach. The sequence in the movie lasted nearly as long as it takes to get to Australia. Every minute a foundation in my subconscious. On my first international trip in 2003, my teenage brain panicked at finding the right batteries and sunscreen saved by the boardwalk at Bondi. The sand under my fingertips. What soft luxury, weaving delight of an ocean half a world away. A safer beach on our trip, without crocs, box jellies, sharks. My adolescent eyes falling in love with travel's freshness. My legs carrying me on those paths, those steps the bike tires jump down. Overlap of new and unknown, of new and known. In the city streets of protests, I took pictures of no war in red dripping off the side of the Sydney Opera House as the cleaners on ladders swiped at the message. Bondi Beach now another tragic scene of desolation. Extreme violence unleashed on people celebrating, uniting. The headlines overlapping, so people can compare which hate and warped misunderstanding is worse. Which number of bodies, which shock, which hits different because it was unimaginable until at home, until a targeted group, often targeted, again. Individuals and the monolith, registering pain at the heart of humanity we keep stepping on. I imagine a place, not my streets, and not Bondi Beach, where community connects in only sunlight and lifting sands. Thank you.
Wow, Heidi, thank you so much for that. Terrible tragedy a couple of days ago in Australia when people were just gathering, as you said, to be together and to celebrate. I really appreciate your thought into putting that piece together and reminding us of that. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks. I'm still working on the piece, but thanks for listening.
Anytime. Round of applause for Heidi Casa. On deck, me to close out the open reading. Please welcome now Chris Kondo. Hello, Chris.
Hello, I can unmute now. Okay. Share. Two short ones, old ones. I have nothing new. I'm getting a new hip for Christmas. So on Christmas Eve, I will be getting my new hip. Let's go, old one. Here we go. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. There's something not blocking me. Okay. Frosty morning, faces long forgotten. Float beyond closed eyelids. Frosty morning, faces long forgotten float beyond closed eyelids. And one more. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong thing here. Come on, share. And this is a painting by my daughter and poem on the top. Floating on the surface of life, yet our stories so ethereal. Sorry, the bottom got cut off. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Come on, stop share. Thank you.
Chris, thank you very much for both of those pieces and the visuals that went along with them. Cool to look at, cool to hear them in your voice as well. Thank you so much for being here.
I miss Cathabella today, but I have nothing new recently either.
That's okay. I'm sure she'll be back.
I'm sure she will. Yes, we
all
will be
right.
back. But I will be gone. My operation, the hospital that I'll be in for a month, doesn't allow much Zooming.
Well, we will still be here whenever you can. I hope it goes well and you get through it completely and quickly. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Chris Kondo, reading to us from the future. I'm going to read two poems to close out the open reading, starting with this one written in the town of Whitehorse, which is in the Great White North, written a couple summers ago from my book High Moose Alert. We were in Whitehorse just for one night on the way to the Yukon, to the city of Dawson City, and we wandered into this bar across the street from our hotel, which was from 1898. And this is what happened. The poem is called Love in the 98 Bar. We walk into the 98 bar on Wood Street. The first thing that happens is Billie Jeanine tells Addie she is beautiful. They hug and photos are taken. We order 2 shots of local whiskey. At our table, Billie Jeanine's aunt, Darling, asks us if any Yukoners still come in here. We ask her if she is from the Yukon. 70 years, she says. Then yes, I say. Billie Jeanine is now complimenting Addie's ass and posture in that order. She refers to Addie as a snack. I don't know if these people are Yukoners, but you don't get more local than this. Beavers and bears on the walls. This place from 1898, a hotel on top. Our patriots are across the street. Addie draws something in Billie Jeanine's memory book. She is spending a year without a phone. Now Billie Jeanine is drawing Addie. The bartender pours us exact shots of 2 brewers' whiskey distilled here in town. This is where you come to be in this place. All right. That is from High Moose Alert. Check it out. Now available partially in broadside form. Thank you, Bill. And this poem, the Hebrew word miketz means at the end. That's the title of this poem, At the End. We are in the middle of the story of Joseph. He is in Egypt. Things have started to go okay with him. At the end is a dubious place to begin. You can only look back. Regrets pour out of you. Your autobiography is posthumous. At the end, you start to question the writing, the plot holes, the performance, the choices. At the end, you're begging for a few more minutes, a second to last meal, a different story. At the end, you get married, you have children, your children have children, your name is their name. At the end, your children's children are moving to Egypt, are cleaning the blood off the multicolored coat. At the end, you wonder, did you have enough pizza? Were your latkes the best? Should you have gotten a dog? At the end, Joseph was the man for the job, loved his brothers, showed them all. All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really fun night. Highlighted from a great reading from Bill Gaines. Thank you so much, Bill. Really well done tonight, from top to bottom, from soup to nuts, from one other thing to one other thing that someone else can come up with. There's the stuff in the chat. Again, please consider tipping Bill in one of these three ways, through PayPal or Venmo, or just by following him on Instagram. Those are great things to do. You can also download the broadside for Bill's poem there at the Cobalt Poets website. If you're new here and you would like, or even if you're old here and you haven't done so, you can click on email list and add your email, and you'll start getting the Cobalt emails every week with the flyer and the calendar and the link to the Zoom, etc. And finally, click on calendar to see who's coming up next week. Kevin Ridgway will be here. Week after that, last Tuesday of the month, taking that week off, and so we'll be back after that on January 6th, I believe. I encourage you all to fight the pickle conspiracy, and I'm going to go ahead and click on ask all to unmute, so that way everyone can say hi to each other.
Hi to each other.
Hi to each other. Who said that?
Hey, great job, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Great
Hey,
job,
Bill Gaines.
Bill.
Rick,
Good work,
Rick mentioned Rick mentioned earlier Billy Collins. That's my favorite poet, and you've got a real Billy Collins flair to your work. It's that comedy tragedy thing. That was really great, Bill.
Oh, thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody who came just tonight, just for me. Thank you for that. This happens every week, and there's always a really cool and interesting featured reader. So come
Keep
on
up the
back.
good work, Bill.
Keep
Good,
coming.
great work.
Fantastic. And
Good
Happy New
night.
Year